Baseball's history has a long lineage of African American catchers. Josh Gibson, Roy Campanella, Johnny Roseboro, Earl Batty, and Elston Howard. But when was the last time you saw an African American catcher in today's league? That's because there hasn't been an everyday starting African American catcher since 2005. Charles Johnson was the Florida Marlins' first ever draft pick in 1995 and a 4-time Gold Glove winner. He's waited for the next great African American catcher to come along.
It's very hard to see a lot of black young kids catching, especially as you go up. It's very hard to find in high school, in college, minor leagues, and definitely in the major leagues. And so yes, it gets very difficult to see kids look like me behind home plate.
On opening day of the 2019 season, there were just 68 African Americans out of 882 major leaguers.
Before you even address why there's no African American catchers, you have to look at just the issue in itself needs to be addressed in terms of attracting more African American players to the game of baseball.
Catching is not a glamorous position. For players with elite talent, it was never an option.
Just kind of like being a sitting duck, really. I like to be active and, move around and use my legs.
Catcher's not a position where you can show your athleticism as much as maybe a center field or shortstop like myself.
Another factor is not many people know how to teach catching. So there's not someone to talk them through this position to pique their interest.
Today, MLB has instituted a number of initiatives to jumpstart African American interest in baseball.
Jackie Robinson was an inspiration for a lot of players. So we're finding our next generational player and try to promote him to appeal to the inner city or black community.
Perhaps that is the most important part, inspiration. Maybe Johnson, Anderson, Simeon, or even 17-year-old Ian Mahler can provide that for future African American players. Mahler is one of the most highly regarded high school catchers in the nation. Only a junior, he is already committed to LSU.
A lot of people wanted to change my position. I stuck with it because I knew a lot of African Americans weren't doing it. And hopefully, I can be a new standard of catching.
And I think it's important that really young kids can look up to us, and hopefully they followed our lead, and hopefully we get more African American players to come up and play baseball.